Today, we're going to show you how to lay out the numbers on a clock face. I've drawn a circle that represents the clock face on your clock. The first thing we need to do is determine where the 12 and the 6 are. So, I'm going to take a straight edge, make it go through the diameter, or through the center, so it creates a diameter, and I'm going to put a little mark at the 12 and at the 6. It doesn't have to be perfect. Everything else is going to go along with that. Now, the next trick is to figure out how to draw a line that is perpendicular to that diameter. Actually, it's a diameter that is perpendicular to the one that we just drew. The way we do this is I take a compass and I open it so it's a little bit longer than the radius of the circle. I'm going to put the point of the compass at 6, and I'm going to draw a little arc out about there. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put the point of the compass right at the 12, and I'm going to draw another little arc. And when I do that, where they cross creates a line that is perpendicular to the first diameter at the center, which is exactly what we wanted. I can take my straight edge now and line it up with the cross that we just made and the diameter, and the center of the circle, and put a mark here and a mark here, and that's where our 3 and 9 are going to go. Okay? Now, the next step, I need to open a compass so that it is exactly the radius of the circle. So I set this up, and I open this compass up so it's exactly the radius. Okay? Now, an interesting thing about the radius, if I create a chord that is exactly the length of the radius, a chord is the line that goes from here to here, the circle will be divided into 6 equal chords, because that's the relationship of the radius to the perimeter of the circle. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and when I do my first 3, I get almost exactly back down to my 6. Now I'm going to do my next 3. I'm going to put it on the 6. I'm going to draw one there. I'm going to put it at that one. I'm going to draw one here. And if I did it correctly, when I put this one here, I end up almost exactly back up at the 12. So now I have the 12, and that has allowed me to draw the 2, 4, 6, and 8. So now I got to get the 1, 3, 5, and 9. Well, if I start on the 3, that's going to give me the 1 and the 5. And if I put it on the 9, that's going to give me the 7 and the 11. This circle is now divided into 12 equal segments, 12 equal little pie shapes. And I've got my numbers. Now, if the face of my clock was rectangular like this paper, I could extend these lines out. And as long as I am on the line and I'm going out to the edge of the paper, that will determine where my number is going to be. So let me do one side of this. There's my diameter. The 12 is going to be up here, so I can put my 12 up here. The 6 is going to be down here, so I can put my 6 right down here. Then, if I'm numbering along the edge of the rectangle, my 1 is going to go right here, because this line points directly from the center through that segment to the 1. So when the hour hand is sitting right here, it will actually point to the 1. Same thing for the 2. I line up those 2. Here's where I want the number to go. That would be the center of my 2. So my 2 is going to go just like this. And of course my 3, we know where that is. The 4, I do the same thing. It's going to go about here. So the 4 is going to look like this. Five is going to go even with the 6, but it'll be on that line. So here's where the middle of my 5 is. My 5 goes here. And I'm just going to do that much. If you look, when my hour hand or minute hand is at the 5 mark, it's going to point directly to that 5. As long as you keep it along this line, you're going to get it perfect. Even though the hands turn in a circle, the numbers still define where those hands are pointed around a rectangle.